Okay, everyone. Oh, I hope you are excited. I hope you're excited as I am because we are ready for our Jet Set Radio Future run with Miku running it for us. Come on, Miku, take it away.
Hi everyone, my name's Miku. I'm a Jet Set Radio Future speedrunner. I've been speedrunning since 2023 in February. This is a wonderful game. I love it to death. Fantastic community as well. You know, I'm very grateful I'm here to show this off today. But of course, you know, can't show this off without some wonderful commentators as well.
Hi, I'm Seventh Ace. I am commentating this run. Hooray!
Hello, I am Ryomi, and I am also commentating this run.
All right. With that out of the way, I guess we can get started. Timer will start when I press new game, which is up the top here. I'll give the countdown, so when I say go, we'll get ready to go. So, in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Welcome to Jet Set Radio Future. This is a game where we have a bunch of youths on skates. We're going to be spraying some graffiti. We're going to be rebelling against the man, and I'm sure this is the only time you'll be seeing this today. This is the garage. Get very familiar with it. We're going to be seeing this a lot. This is our central hub in this open world game. So we'll be starting here in every chapter. We'll be passing through here to get to the various levels around the entire game. Again, Miku's just doing a movement tutorial to tell you how to jump and grind. We'll get into a lot more of the details in just a little bit. So, the main gameplay loop of this is that we will be spraying graffiti and having encounters with cops. So you can see Miku picking up a bunch of spray cans. These spray cans are what our main resource for the game. So right there, we have sprayed graffiti. That one took 3 sprays, so you can see Miku at the top right has 27 cans. Cans, again, are our major resource. They help us go faster, and they help us complete objectives, and that creates the fundamental routing that makes this game really interesting.
Yeah, this is DJ Professor K, baby, the master of mayhem, know what I'm saying? Bring you another Tokyo Underground.
So,
it's our main man. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, go on. This is DJ Professor K. He is our pirate radio host that is telling us all about exactly what's going down on the street. So he'll be here every chapter and butting in every once in a while to let us know about the story of this game. Right now, we're getting the big overview of it, where we see our big, bad, evil megacorp guy, Rokaku Goji.
And he's even got his eyes set on City Hall.
I haven't seen these cutscenes in about 20 years, so this is refreshing.
So, yeah, basically they're cracking down on freedom of expression and speech and other things that generally aren't very good for a bunch of teenagers. And he's using these cops that you can see on the screen now, along with their boss Hayashi in his long blue jacket, to enforce that. So they will be kind of our overall antagonist for the first section of this game. We'll be seeing them a lot. These are our protagonists, though. Enough about bad guys. These are our heroes. On the left, Yo-Yo, right, Korn, and in the center, thank you for donating to the cause that is Gum in her Jet Set Radio, the kind of precursor to this game skin.
You picked the right one. Let's go.
Which one is your favorite out of the 3? Ace.
I mean, Korn is great, actually. I really like Korn. He gets a little bit of under wrap, but he's pretty darn cool.
Attacking the record store and Shore Street, prowlers and
I didn't like Korn at the start of when I started playing Jet Set Radio Future, but he really grew on me, honestly.
And who should be following them around but the Rokaku group?
So, yep, that is basically saying you'll be encountering cops throughout all this. This is actually the first level. If you check the background and everything, you'll be seeing this again very, very soon.
My heart ain't pounded like this since my first date. I was so nervous, know what I'm saying? I forgot to wear my underwear, baby.
Classic line.
Gameplay's about to start. This is probably the longest cutscene in the game, right?
Minus the final cutscenes, yeah.
I would have hated to speedrun this game back in the day when cutscene skipping wasn't a thing.
Frame boost.
So Oh, there we go. Ooh. So, yeah, so we can actually skip
Let's
cutscenes
get
in
this
this
party
version of the game.
started.
So, if anyone wants to chime in on what we're speedrunning on, feel free.
We can in just a little bit. I think that'll be a good topic. For right now, we've got Dogenzaka Hill, our first level of the game. It is a really fun, fast downhill section where it only goes downhill. It's really, really cool, and we'll get to be introduced into the main gameplay loop of Jet Set Radio Future. So, right here is a graffiti soul. Miku needs to pick up 20 of these before we hit about an hour and probably 15 minutes into the run, hour and 10 minutes into the run. So those are routed into the game so we can pick up the fastest 20 of those. From here you can see Miku firing a boost. That is the flames coming off the skates. That bitrate is not your stream crashing or anything. That is an effect in the game. And then coming down here to spray graffiti. Each graffiti again takes 1 can to use. A boost takes 10 cans. We do have to complete all of the graffiti in the area to move on and progress in the story. So that's a lot of the common loop that's going to be occurring. And all the routing, again, balances around cans used for speed and cans used for completing levels. So, Dogenzaka Hill, as mentioned, is a very downhill level. You just keep going down the hill. It gives the player a lot of speed to work with. It really makes it feel like a very fun section of the game. So it's a lot of fun. Miku has picked up his 3rd graffiti soul of the level. Each level has 3 of them by default that are pre-placed on it. There are ways to get others, but we're only going to interact with that mechanic once, and by completing all of the graffiti there, we have completed the first part of this level, and now we'll get to meet Beat, who is the cover art character of the game. Remy, what do you think about Beat in this game?
Why is he the cover art character?
That's a
Don't
good
ask me.
question, honestly.
Beat's pretty cool. I like Beat. A lot of people hate Beat, but it's probably in my top 3, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like his redesign in Future compared to JSR.
Yeah, so touch on that in a bit. This is one thing Jet Set Radio Future does really well is shows a player what they can do by making little miniature challenges. So instead of just traveling along the lower section, this is through some kind of record store kind of area. Beat shows that you can go on top of the area, which is really cool. This game has a lot of verticality to it that was added with the fact that it could be played on the original Xbox. So these maps are way bigger than the original, and they're a lot more full. So, very quickly, Miku pick up a mystery tape and use that to unlock a graffiti soul. It's like the 20th fastest thing we can do. We're going to go ahead and start a race around Dogenzaka Hill with Beat, and we're going to do it in a bit of an unconventional way. If you boost and then slam into him, and then start a shuffle, which is a way to preserve your speed, you'll start accelerating infinitely, which is really exciting. So you get up to speeds that you will not see throughout the rest of the run just while flying down this hill. So it's really cool, very, very fast method to complete this Beat race. And gets the perfect shuffle afterwards to maintain all that speed. We are zooming around Dogenzaka Hill. So.
Yeah, that negative shuffle was a pretty difficult trick, so good job on getting it.
Let's go! Yeah, so the way that you do it is it's like you have to be turned around, and then you have to shuffle, which is a mechanic in this game, which decreases your speed very slowly, but maintains your current speed, like your speed, so you don't lose it all. But then you have to shuffle at the time of getting hit by Beat, and then that interaction of getting hit and then shuffling, results in negative shuffle. I don't know how it does, but I'm not going to complain. It's free time save.
If you want the very quick and dirty explanation, what a shuffle does is creates an equation that tells you to be at a certain amount of speed after a certain amount of time. So then it'll create a rate your speed should decrease at. But if you hit Beat and then start shuffling on the same frame, your speed is negative like 200. So it will then attempt to create a function that takes your speed from negative 200 to like positive 50. And that means your speed has to increase throughout time. So that is what creates the infinite speed increase. So here's our first interaction with the Rokaku police. As with many problems in this game, we will solve it with spray cans. What we do is we knock them over and then spray on their backs, and they are eliminated as a threat. They can jump on your back and cause issues, but if you're moving fast enough, that is not a big issue, and Miku certainly knows how to move fast.
Yeah, I think that last cop grabbed me because I slowed down a little bit there just so then I could spray all the cops. Because I think your speed, how fast you're going, I think sort of dictates where they get knocked over or how far they get knocked down. So I was trying to like minimize that.
All right, here is Poison Jam, the rival gang. So there are, I wouldn't call them antagonists, but they're definitely a rival gang that will be meeting throughout the first third of this game. This is Shibuya Terminal, based on the real life Shibuya Terminal. You can actually see some like genuine picture-to-picture details from the real life station, which I think is a really cool port. It also has some of my favorite movement in the entire game. I'm going to talk about quick turns and how they preserve speed while turning. Normally, characters can't really turn in like 90-degree angles at all. You have to make these wide turns because you're on skates. It makes sense. But by pulling back on the stick, you will go into the skid animation, and then by pointing left, and only left, you can't do it going right, you can cancel that animation and turn 90 degrees, and you're able to preserve most of your speed.
Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite level just because the movement is just very, very clean.
Yeah, seeing it get cleaned up here really quickly is just so much fun. Sub 11, very nice, Miku.
Yo, let's go.
Let's go. All right, so after you've sprayed over all 35 of Poison Jam's graffiti in like a minute and a half, they show up and they are not really thrilled with you, and so they're going to run around the map and, I don't know, taunt you, I suppose. We have to go talk to them a couple times to advance the story. And this is, again, part of the tutorial system that JSRF has built in, where now we're ascending to a higher section of the map that normally you wouldn't have any reason to go to. But Poison Jam shows you can, in fact, go vertical in this game. Now we have to go and meet them again, and we're going to do this exact piece of movement. So if you've been paying attention, they jump down, then went up, then went around, and then land here on the other side of the map. So we'll do that exactly by skipping the entirety of all of that and going right over to them in the most direct line possible.
If this was JSR, you would have failed that tutorial.
Yeah, certain events have checkpoints in this game, and certain events do not. These talk-to-character things have no checkpoints, so Miku, again, takes a couple shortcuts to get to Poison Jam fast enough, and then they are spooked off by somebody showing up, and they go ahead and leave. And who shows up?
My man, Combo. Let's go.
Oh my god, he's got
Rocking the drip. Let's go.
Okay, so Combo's holding a boombox in his hand normally, but we have a modification to the game where he's holding an original Xbox.
Oh my god, I didn't
is
even notice.
Incredible. I love it.
Shout out to Bugbait who modeled this and put it onto Combo.
Oh. He's also got speakers on his shirt, which at one point we modified into the 4 Xbox buttons and then the black and white buttons as well, which is just great. And we turned he has a big chain necklace that is the Xbox controller. It's normally a big yen symbol, but it's an Xbox controller in this, and that is absolutely golden. Oh, that's so funny.
The fantastic world of Xbox modding.
Oh, so I kind of because of that, I completely skipped talking about the combo challenge, which is mirror what he did, but that has checkpoints, so we had to hit very specific areas and do others as fast as possible. That's the only one of these in this entire run as far as I can think of, so it's not a huge deal. All right, Combo's going to hang out with GG's at the garage now that he is impressed with our skills, and that is the last we'll see him, and he doesn't even go to the garage. That's our next level, actually. This is our first encounter with Hayashi. We will get to see him a couple of times in various forms, and we also have 20 cops to take care of, not 10 in four groups of 5. The cops do collide with each other, so they kind of get knocked over like bowling pins, and it's a lot of fun to just swing right through them and take them out. That was super quick. And then we don't have to spray Hayashi because apparently he does not count for the level counter, so we finish out super quick. And that is
so I do apologize because with I am playing on the CXBX emulator. There's a weird sort of bug with specifically AMD CPUs where depending on the core and CPU count, there's like, if you might have seen this white flash that appears on the screen, it has something to do with the amount of cores and processors and all that's being used, which is causing that bug. But I have minimized it so the game is only using 2 processors right now. But if there is an occasional flash, again, I do apologize.
Yep, that is the perks of emulation, is that it works almost perfectly to a point where we're super happy with using it for the speedrun, but it does have a couple downsides to it, and that's one of them. So you will see at the top left, we do have a timer running. That is our in-game timer mod as well. It counts the number of frames that are played in the game rather than the real time that occurred, because loads matter and things like that. Well, would have mattered in real time, but they don't for the in-game time, so that's really cool. That has made speedrunning this game a lot more fair and not dependent on Xbox or eventually PC hardware. All right, we have moved to Chapter 2, and we have gum. So again, thanks everybody for donating for this, for the bid worth that allows us to use this Jet Set Radio skin made by, I believe, is Losa.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, shout out to Losa.
So, we're going into Chuo Street now, and we're going to see a common gameplay mechanic for the rest of the graffiti missions here. So what's going to happen is once we get in, the cops are going to come over the radio and make a transmission. From there, we're going to try and knock out as many things as possible that are kind of out of the way. Once the cop dialogue completes, the triggers that spawn the cops will be active. So we want to get as much done before those happen as possible. So what Miku's going to do is go ahead, spray that graffiti, pick up a graffiti soul, then hop over here, preserving as much space as possible, boosting and jumping up onto this ledge here. And right before the last line of the dialogue plays, spray this large, and boom, there we go. Cops spawn in.
You're so cool, Miku.
Thanks, Remy. There is a faster strat you can do where if you boost at the start from Shibuya into Chuo, you save like an extra second or 2, but you need to grab cans while doing this sort of tight, like maneuvering, trying to get the graffiti soul and the large. It's just, you can do it. It's like, you know, free time save, but obviously it's a little bit tighter on timing, so I decided not to do that.
Yeah, so the cops, as you will see, we've knocked out 30 cops so far that are on foot, so they decided the completely reasonable and measured response of sending in 6 tanks. So what we have to do is spray the left, the right, and then the guy that pops out the top, and they go away very, very quickly. But this is but one of several very measured and reasonable steps that the cops will be taking to try and stop our graffiti spraying efforts. At the bottom left, you can also see the input viewer we have as part of this mod, so you can see every single input Miku makes throughout the entire game. Now that we've sprayed all 6 of the tanks, Hayashi spawns on this top of this building here, and points his gun at us in a taunting manner and says to fight him. So we will run right over to him, and we will have to spray him down. Or we can Hayashi yeet him off the entire platform and crush his bones on the ground, because that is an alternate win condition that will be used several times throughout this run.
Gets me every time.
It's great. The Hayashi yeet is... I'm so glad it's viable, because it seems like something that should have been viable all along. But it was kind of hard to find a setup to actually get him into position. So, going through Chuo Street now, we are going to be headed through this back alley section where we're going to pick up a couple more graffiti souls and a couple more spray tags along the back. But while we're doing that, if the host has any announcements or anything to read out, now would be an excellent time to do so.
I actually do have some stuff to read out. I'd like to let everybody know, A, first, they're awesome. B, this run is fantastic. Holy heck, this is so cool to watch. And C, we have opened up a new bid war for everybody. So this is for our run of Rakugaki, and it is a outfit bid war. So to defeat Mr. Buff with the power of anime, we must become anime. But will we be punishing him in the name of the moon? Or do we believe we're going to become the Hokage? I'm sorry, my pronunciation is terrible. So donations will choose which anime outfit Follow will be running in. So that will either be the Lunar Scout from Sailor Moon or the Ninja Prodigy Goku. So please get your donations in for those bid wars. I am really excited to see that because we got to get some anime in this marathon. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, this game feels like an anime sometimes as far as just the style and everything like that. It's really definitely, I mean, it was based out of Japan. This is based on Tokyo, so it's definitely got that influence to it. So with that, Miku has completed Chuo Street and all the graffiti there. So again, after most of the levels, we'll have something to do. And in this case, we're going to go race Poison Jam. So in exactly what you'd expect to go race them, instead of talking to them, we leave the level entirely and we'll never see them again. Well, we won't see them in that level again. So we're going to entirely skip racing them. Racing them is required for the story because of something that will be occurring in the next level. So we're going to have to find a skip to work around that, which we will in just a moment.
Here we go. New area.
This is Rokkaku Dai Heights, an abandoned hill at times. God, Poison Jam is always proud around here.
So in Jet Set Radio Future, there's basically three main areas in the game. There's the Shibuya-cho area, the Kogane-cho area where we are now, and then the Benten-cho area. Sort of, they're all separated in sort of like visually. So, you know, Shibuya, it goes more like the bus terminal sort of like road area. Kogane is more like run down and like slum area, and Benten-cho is more like the city life and like, you know, skyscrapers and stuff.
Yeah, the visual design of Jet Set Radio Future is really brilliant in that way, where it's very clear what kind of sections of the map you're in, and it makes it really easy to follow in a lot of cases. So Miku has sprayed the first 16 tags here, and then is going to leave now. We're going to go ahead and jump through this wall. There's a little seam in the wall that we can jump through, which allows us to go out of bounds. There's a gate that Miku sprayed some tags on that we couldn't actually get past. However, by going out of bounds and then landing in the water there, we hit a death plane. Whenever you fall into the water or void, you hit a death plane that is targeted to respawn us on the other side of the gate, allowing us to skip the story event race that is required to open it, and therefore we have skipped the Poison Jam race and saved about 2.5 minutes real time. This is our first encounter with a cop with armor. They are in the black outfits. They require a boost to knock over. All others do not. And if that seemed trivial, it's because it was.
Imagine if there were another cop fight in this level, a way bigger cop fight.
That would be crazy.
Whoa.
With more armored cops.
I think there are only 3. But I think there's another cop fight, as Ryumi may have been alluding to, just up ahead, where we have to fight 32 cops, 3 of which are armored, and then Hayashi afterwards. However, the trigger for that is kind of to our right here, right next to this tag. So what we're going to do is carefully maneuver around it so that we never hit the trigger box to initiate the cop fight, and therefore we don't have to do it, which is great because that one takes forever. The developers put in a lot of hitboxes around tags, so that way you are required to do the cop fights, but they missed just it by a couple pixels as to how far we can spray. So we're able to skip that very easily. Falling from top to bottom now as we've climbed all of RD8, we're going ahead and cleaning up a few of the tags that are more out of the way going up, but easy to hit on the way down. And by finishing this tag in a very precise location, we skip the third and final cop fight of the level. And that is the end of Rokakudai Heights, as we get to leave with the infamous song Birthday Cake.
You like this song?
Now.
No, stay.
No, I mean, I do. I like this song. I think it fits JSRF pretty well, But I know it's a very controversial. People think it's loud and obnoxious, but honestly, that's kind of like the best parts about the song.
To be fair, a lot of the time when it plays, it's because you're stuck in an area for like 30 or 40 minutes on a casual playthrough, and having somebody screaming in your ear about a birthday cake is not exactly the encouragement you want in a lot of cases.
Bad stuff going down lately. Ever since
The picture is tripping out for me.
Well, we are in 99th Street, so as Miku kind of mentioned, this is the city life section of the area, or of the kind of open world. Again, there are 3 different sections off the garage. So the cops are going to talk again, and we need to get into position as soon as possible to start initiating the cop fight. Here they're on 2 sides of the map, the light side and the dark side. So Miku's going to jump up on that wall and then fall into the light side where there's no walls, and fall directly into the box that starts the cop fight trigger. And that puts them right here, and we're going to do like one of my favorite routes of the entire game, where we just, the floor is lava this entire section and never touch the ground while flying all over the place to hit all of these spotlights, which is super cool. All of the cops are in spotlight towers and they'll shoot you from there, but we're just going to fly above them using our cool movement tech and tag them all from above, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's super cool when you can pull that off. A little bit challenging, but once you get it, it does feel quite good. Shout out to Ekla, who found out this route. I believe it saves not a lot of time, but it's what is it? It's like 2 seconds or something. I
think it's 2 or 3, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's still such a cool route, just visually using all of your movement techniques to stay above the cops. Not that taking damage would be that big of an issue, but it's just faster to take these kind of short routes along the top. Here, Miku is going to jump into a small area between the fence and the wall, turn, make it through. There's a tower, watch for it, because we're going to fall through the floor and then respawn on the other side of the wall, right in front of the tower where we need to be. From here, the cops are going to talk a little bit more. And again, as mentioned, whenever the cops finish talking, their triggers activate. However, if we don't let the cop trigger finish by interrupting it with a DJ Professor K dialogue, the triggers for those cops will never spawn in because the dialogue never completes. So we have skipped cop fights for the entirety of the remainder of the level, which is 2 more if you went everywhere, 1 more mandatory. So that's a nice little time save. Good jump. That jump is very precise as part of this more modern routing section, and it is a very precise jump to use the curving up of that rail to get enough height to jump on the building there and then make it over to this dark side extra quick. So this is where the cops on the dark side would be, but again, we have skipped those, so we can just go ahead and finish off the remaining 13 tags in this section by, again, just jumping around and navigating the upper sections of this level. 99th Street, I think, is super cool because you do navigate along, not on the ground as we have in all the previous levels, but rather up on the power lines and the wires and in a more vertical space. And I think it's a really cool section, but it also hurts if you fall down a bunch, which happens a lot in people's first playthroughs because you have to keep jumping back up.
Yeah, 99 is super satisfying. It both offers like a nice style to it, along with good challenging gameplay, which rewards you heavily if you're invested into those sort of strategies.
Heading back to the center now, we meet Rapid 99. We're introduced as Poison Jam's enemies, and the enemy of our enemy is our friend, kind of. So we're going to try and get some information on Poison Jam's hideout from Rapid 99. However, we're not just going to get it for free. They will challenge us to a flag battle. A flag battle is a best 3 out of 5 pickup of flags around the map. They'll spawn one at a time. We'll need to pick up 3 of them. And it's a 3v1. Or what we can do is ignore that completely and use another one of these alternate win conditions. One of the requirements for the game is that the players have to be alive. So what we're going to do is boost into that Rapid 99. She hits the other one and then there's a third one. And what they do is cycle each other into the water. That flag on the screen there is what they're trying to get to, but when they respawn out of the water, the only thing they do is try and pathfind directly to the flag, which there's a giant lake in between them, so they fall into the water, taking damage over and over again. And that's called Curse of the Evil Mushroom.
Why is it called that, Ace?
Because of Ace Bats, there is a giant mushroom that's just on that light side of the level. You may have seen it, but you could go back and see it. And apparently it has placed a curse on the enemies, and that's... Ace Bats is great. We really appreciate it.
Who's funky, y'all?
Careful, I'm just watching these cutscenes. Did I just see an orange girder in the sewers?
Yeah, it's...
Look, I can see the girders there. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, look, there's a blue one up there as well. That doesn't spawn in normally, so... Yeah, the sewer cutscene is different than the sewer map itself by just a little bit. It's kind of wild.
Modders.
So, there's also one in 100-meter room, by the way. That's... Maybe. We may have coded that one in. So, Rapid 99, after being defeated, has told us that Poison Jam lives in the sewers, and so we're going to go to the sewers to confront them. Great Sneak Man mix. And here we're going to do one of the most precise clips in the entire game. So I'm just going to kind of shut up and let Mika do it.
No promises. I'll try my best.
Oh, so close. So this is called Cucumber, and oh, there it is. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh my god, I wasn't expecting to get a second try.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, no emotions.
So, that trick is unbelievably precise, and what it does is allow you to clip through the floor and skip the entirety of the sewer level, the tutorial, and the multi-minute climb mission to make it work. It's so insanely difficult. From there, he's going to move through the bottom point of the sewage facility and do another clip out of bounds, which will death warp us over to the start of the Poison Jam fight. About in a casual run, that would take almost an hour for what Miku just did in probably 1 minute. So huge, massive time save. And even in a speed run, since that saves 7 minutes.
I really am jumping up and down right now after that.
Known emotion
boy.
haver Ryomi. So, a tagger's tag fight is something that we'll be seeing a lot throughout the remainder of the game. What you do in a tagger's tag is that you spray the back of the enemies and they try and do the same to you. So, obviously, we know how to position ourselves so that we don't get sprayed down. So, it's just a matter of spraying all of these poison jams down in good time. They take 30 cans each to get knocked out. New route meta? Hold on.
Wait.
So we can only hold 30 cans at a time, so it's a lot of effort to spray each one of them, then refuel on cans, then spray the next one. So, you're bad cycled.
Oh no! Oh, I have to wait for him. Sorry, he'll jump down.
There he comes.
I've never seen that before.
Oh. All right.
A lot of the taggers tag fights are very precise as far as the setup required for them because we manipulate the AI in fairly specific ways. So if things go right, it's great and easy and smooth and nothing goes wrong at all. And if it goes wrong, things like that can happen where it's just a little bit of a mess and we have to do a little bit of backup. But again, that was a fairly clean backup there. So yeah, again, 30 cans to knock him out. So we'll spray the last guy down and we will say goodbye to Poison Jam almost for the entirety of the run.
Yeah, that was unfortunately my bad on that. I went to go reset the camera with the left trigger, but it locked onto the Poison Jam. So then it kind of messed up my sort of movement. And then I was like, oh, well, I already knew what I was getting myself. I didn't know I was going to get the bad cycle with DJ.
Yeah, you got jarfed, bro.
What?
Yeah. Jarf. J-A-R-F.
Obviously,
Dark.
Poison Jam will kidnap the statue.
What? Never heard that one before.
It's very recent this year, I reckon.
Big news just in. So Yo-Yo that we saw, that was our character that we played with for the first 2 levels of the game, has been kidnapped and his dog's very sad about it. And completely unrelated, now there are noise tanks. So the noise tanks are going to be the antagonists of chapters 4 through 6. We are entering chapter 4 here. So that's kind of the story lore. We don't know anything, so we're gonna just investigate the mystery of Yo-Yo's disappearance and see what kind of connections we can find, what we can find out on the streets. Yeah, you're right, DJ K-Bit.
And they might help you unravel this mystery.
Unravel their mummies. That's so funny. Anyway, we're headed off to Hikage Street, and this is, again, the start of Chapter 4, and Chapter 4 is the hardest level section of the game. First off, we're going to do boostless bus jump, where we jump on a bus without a boost, and pick up this graffiti soul, then boost over to the second graffiti soul, and pick those up super quickly. Yeah, Chapter 4 is really hard. It has the most complex levels, the tightest routing, and some of the hardest tricks in the game. So there's a lot of really, really tough work that goes into making Chapter 4 good. And yeah, give Miku your energy for a good Chapter 4.
I'll need it. I will need it.
So once again, we're going to have the cops talk for a little bit. There are 3 distinct sections to this map: the north, east, and west, or center, left, and right. I might refer to them as both. And so what they're going to do is talk for a little bit of time, and we're going to try and knock out a specific set of 3 graffiti tags and get in position for the center cop fight. So here, that was the set of movement required. We're going to dodge the trigger box for it. And then now that we're done with our tags, we're going to spawn in the cop fight, which is the Rokaku group's terror drone, this spider-looking thing that lands on the top of the rails here and throws bombs out at us.
I am terrified.
I can hear.
Oh, there we go. Got a good grind on him.
There are, when it's at half health, we get this cutscene with it kind of malfunctioning, and again, Hayashi inside it, piloting it, not having a great day. So then we just keep spraying around it and jump back across the front, and boom. The second half of it has been taken care of because things don't actually have a lot of health. And if you're worried about Miku flying into the just falling forever, there is a spawn point right afterwards at... I love the Blink's faces on that.
So good. Accidentally amazing.
You've been Blinked. So you'll be respawned right here always after the fight, so don't worry about falling. Yeah, there's custom graffiti, by the way. Obviously, this isn't the default graffiti in the game, but through a lot of our modding work and learning, especially via Neodos, who has created a tool for this, we have a bunch of custom tags in the game. So, like, shout out to Daft7 on the medium tag, Blinks, Miku's other Xbox speed game, and then a community tag where a bunch of people are represented on that extra large tag. Rami, what's yours? Is yours the Ultra Mad on that?
I would mine be the Ultra Mad.
So it's, I would say Ultra Mad, and then there's a Rui Fist in the corner.
That Graffiti Soul is the most precise one to pick up in the entire game. That one, it has a very small frame window that you have to boost and hit it with that before the slope of the ramp comes in, but it's really hard to do that because there's not a lot of space to walk up and do it. So it kind of catches people off guard frequently. Here's a regular cop fight with a mixture of armored and unarmored cops, and you can see they all just completely get annihilated very quickly. That was a great cop fight.
Yeah, that was a really good cop fight.
That's a 2-frame jump called Quickage, a portmanteau of quick and Hikage, where we are, because we are extremely creative at coming up with trick names, I suppose. And that just saves us from having to run around more of these stairs. Hikage is a level where, again, split up into left, center, and right, but there are stairs and rails that we can grind on to reach the top of each of these sections. So each of those sections can take a while if you fall back down. So the goal is to climb as efficiently as possible and then not fall until we're done. We're going to use go down to exactly 10 cans, so we have exactly enough to into this set of armored cops as well. Miku, you are doing it with these cop fights right now.
Oh my god. The Hikage gods are with me today.
You better not say anything. I cursed Yamsa when she did this at GDQ. I can make you fall in a second. So, yeah, there's a lot of tags just spread out along the top section here. Again, they are kind of all over the place, and generally it's just kind of it's a tough level playing for the first time, and all of the optimizations that we've put into it make it a tough level for speedrunning, but Miku's kind of killing it right now. This has been one of the best Hikages I've seen. As far as marathons go and whatnot, it is killing it. We need
went fine. So sorry, I was just gonna say, like, I think this would have been fine. Like, would have been a really good Hikage. I just think the can management could have been a little bit better, but you know, not gonna complain.
Yep, we did need 10 cans to leave, so we're gonna go ahead pick up a quick extra, so that way we can boost down this hallway and then jump into this cubby here with a Graffiti Soul in it. Graffiti Soul check, we should be at what, like, I want to say 36 or 37. Okay, cool. I did say you need 20. They start you with 20, so you actually need, the number on the screen has to say 40, but we pick up 20 of those. So we picked up 17 of the required 20, and we'll pick up a couple more in the next couple, in one in each of the remaining levels. So we're going to go cross the garage again, head back into the Rococo Heights area, which connects over to the sewer area, which the sewer is kind of the hub to the Kogane levels, as Miku kind of mentioned. All of these are connected kind of by their own little hub areas. And so if we go in, now this girder exists because story reasons that we skipped. There's Bottom Point right there, and then there's Kibogaoka Hill, which is our next level. Let's talk about this before we get into it. What we're going to do is have cop dialogue at the start. We're going to have 32 seconds to do an escape of this starting area before the helicopters would spawn in. It's an extremely precise piece of movement. Looking good. From here, the outcome's basically determined. So at the end of this dialogue, now and then, boom, we just barely missed the trigger. I mean, it's the precision window of that, nice frame boost, is within a quarter second of optimal. So it's very, very precise. So nice job, too.
Yeah, let's go.
If only there was another way to get here without doing that.
Yeah, but we have to spray all those tags, which is kind of the important part. So, yeah, again, if you even stutter and in any way possible, that's it. You don't hit that trick. It's really precise, but it's hard to show you what you're not seeing of how many, how much effort it takes to get your movement to a position that you can do that consistently. But trust us when we say that is a really precise trick. Probably one of the hardest pieces of continuous movement in the entire run because of just, again, how tiny your timing window is.
And having to deal with graffiti cam as well.
Yeah, graffiti cam's tough because whenever you spray graffiti, your camera goes and points at it. But all of the controls in this game are camera relative. So when your camera turns 90 degrees to look at those graffiti tags, your controls also invert 90 degrees. So it becomes a very precise set of stick inputs to make sure that you properly take care of, not going 90 degrees off of 2. Now, we did leave 3 tags behind, so we're going to go ahead and clean those up right here at the end. Reload the level to reload the cop dialogue, so that way we have time to do this. Otherwise, the triggers would have gotten us. However, this dialogue's a lot shorter, so we have to really hurry for this one. So after this cop finishes right here, the level will spawn in the triggers, and we are in the zone, but Miku finishes the level just before the triggers spawn in, and they don't show up after you've sprayed the graffiti, so we have skipped the entirety of the helicopter fight, which, again, normal and reasonable measure to kids spraying graffiti.
Surely you can't get any worse than that, right?
Oh, certainly. I mean, what more could there be? We've already seen tanks and helicopters, and a terror drone. So,
I'm terrified.
Yeah, congrats on hitting the big 2 in the marathon, Miku. You got Cucumber and Heli Skip. You did it.
Let's go.
Nice. Not even the easy cucumber method either. I got the hard one.
Yeah, for reference, we have a setup. Most runners have a setup for doing it from falling in because you can at least somewhat line that up consistently with a very precise timing. Players sometimes use a certain song at a certain BPM and then jump and turn at the same time, whatever. But having to go back and then just kind of go after just with no setup by just jumping at the spot is really difficult. So that was genuinely a very impressive tactic.
Okay, we're in like the easier part of chapter 4, in my opinion. Skyscraper's pretty chill.
If you've played this game casually, Skyscraper is insane to play through. It's absolutely massive, the largest level in the game, and it's not particularly close. It's huge. It doesn't have a lot of features to identify as far as your first playthrough, so it's really a casual first time through nightmare, but we're going to navigate it with no problem. That was a really good cop fight setup as well.
Whoa, I wonder who found that out.
Miku, who did find that one?
It was me. It was me.
Oh my goodness. We're so proud of you.
There's all thanks. There's like a weird oddity with, again, AMD CPUs running this game on emulator, that the cops actually behave a bit differently. So there's actually a different setup on Xbox that works 100% of the time, and on Intel CPUs. But for some reason, AMD, the cops are like, we're not going to behave that way. So Ryomi is a top runner of the game, and he was getting pretty frustrated at like the inconsistency of the cops. So I took it upon myself to see if I could find a strategy that could mimic sort of the same sort of time. I think it loses a second or two compared to the other strategy, but again, consistency is what we're going for here. And 1 second time loss is good enough for us.
So what Miku's going to be doing around this level is taking a lot of death. Whenever you fall down in between these buildings and whatnot, you're going to hit a death warp. That puts you at a pre-prescribed location based on whatever death plane you hit. And we use those for fast movement around the level. It's not exactly intended to be used this way, but it's not intended to be used. If you fall near that building, it's going to respawn you near that building. That building just happens to have a medium graffiti, so that's what we're going to do. It's just a careful management of our health, because with this route, we're going to go down to a very low health value, where if we fall and make any mistakes, we will lose the entire run instantly, so don't do that, Miku.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to get some health.
Okay, that's a good idea. These red cans are health cans, and they are relevant exactly this time in the run. And that's it. From here, we're going to go over to more the right side of the map. We're going to clip through this wall here, which has a bunch of layers, so we call this Trick Onion. And then we jump into the void again, and go and spray more of this graffiti here. Again, we're going to... This is a part where we would have 1 HP, so we would be normally be very careful throughout here. And then after spraying that large, we'll jump over and pick up the health that would set us back to full. So we would be at full health here, so we're back on track. But we're not done flinging ourselves into the void again. This is a little bit faster than walking back. So we jump into the void and then jump off these ramps across these satellite dishes. Again, kind of a cool level aesthetically, but a very difficult one to navigate when you aren't familiar with all the sections of the level. I'm gonna pick up a few extra cans. These cans, some of these cans are incidentally doubled. It's just a weird spawning bug in the game. So those cans give more than you would expect. And then we're going to do just a couple more jumps out into the void. We're going to jump right around this corner, and if we get just around this building in time, the game thinks we have fallen from way up here, which is a lot higher than where we were. We're going to jump off the corner of this ramp here. If you do it with just the right angle, you can barely make the jump there to spray the final large graffiti of the level, and that's actually the final graffiti of this entire game. Now we jump into the void, but go outside the level, and if you go outside the regular bounds of the level, the game just has a default case to send you back to a specified point, which is usually at the start of the level, which we do, and immediately start this Immortals Tiger Tag.
Another 1v3.
Yeah, that's pretty common here.
Wait,
Whoa.
What?
Huh?
what just happened?
Remy? No, I don't know. It seemed like that Immortal was completed. That whole Tiger's Tag fight, normally you'd have to spray all of them from full to death, but we were able to finish that fight in half an Immortal only. That's some kind of new tech, I think.
Yeah.
We need to name it on the fly. Any names?
Emulator advantage.
Just thinking Quick Immortals, maybe? We'll see.
We'll see if it sticks.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll go into Highway 0 now, and we will have to do the Immortals Tigers Tag fight again, but for real this time, promise.
Oh, they're back.
So we're going to boost into one of those and use that as a gap closer than pickup cans. Now these guys only take 12 cans to eliminate, so it's going to be much quicker. We can, despite their name, they are in fact not immortal, and take them out ridiculously quickly. From there, we go and try and save Yo-Yo, but he pulls an Uno reverse card and traps us in their cage. The Immortals rise again somehow, and now we are shipped off as their prisoner.
We never saw that coming.
I'm just gonna say, maybe chat could donate to name that brand new tech we just discovered.
So I'm gonna go with this for a minute. This has been a bit that has been running for about 2 years now. It is, in fact, known tech. It is just part of the game, but we always like to make it go, whoa, that's never happened before.
I love gaslighting new players to Red Future, being like, "Oh my god, dude, that was really quick. What the heck?"
All right, you're 1 out of 3, so all you need to do is grow, and you're in good shape. There is community best girl Jazz. She was also taken here because they profiled her and she wore skates, so they think she's associated with us, even though she absolutely isn't. This is the start of Death Ball, the most thrilling and entertaining section of the entire game. What we're going, because this is an entirely new mechanic, they give us a 2-minute tutorial section, unskippable 2-minute tutorial section. So, we'll tell you about the mechanics of Death Ball after when Death Ball actually starts. So, to our host, our wonderful host, if you have anything to mention now that we've been blabbing on for the last 30 minutes, now would be an excellent time for that.
I'm just gonna say, I have been bamboozled. I have been bamboozled, and
Mission
I think it's
accomplished.
okay. I think it's okay in the name of raising money. It's okay to bamboozle me that way. I do have a $10 dono from Hockey Babbler. They say, "Hype, what a stacked schedule." Now, if only I could convince work that watching this was for research purposes. I don't know. Maybe we can come up with a theory. I have a $15 dono from Ibuki that says, "This is for you, Alice. You're one of the best people I know, so I hope that only the best happens for you. I might not be a close friend to you, but you are a close friend of mine." Thank you so much for that dono. We also have a $19 dono from Ace Bats that says, "This game was my childhood. I used to play it all the time on the Sega Dreamcast. Good luck, Miku, and I hope you have a very happy birthday."
Aw, thank
Am I
you, Ace
being
Bats.
bamboozled again?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is in fact an original Xbox game, but a lot of the time, the original game, Jet Set Radio, was a bit more popular, and that was played on the Dreamcast, so a lot of people come into streams and say, "Oh my god, I loved playing this game on my Dreamcast. This game never came out on the Dreamcast."
I have
Like,
another
they don't even
dono.
look the same.
Sorry. Another dono, $50 dono from C Priest that says, "Yay, Alice, you have been such a kind and wonderful presence on Twitch, and you destroy games. What more can a chatter ask for? Keep doing what you do." Thank you all so much for those donos. I know a few of those went to that bid war we have for Rakugaki, which will be coming up later. And just to let everybody know, anytime you're putting in a dono for that bid war, you're also getting a 2-for-1 deal, because if we make it to a $500 milestone, we will be getting a Kirby and the Amazing Mirror bonus boss endurance run, which adds about 10 minutes of time. So come on, everybody, let's make Beam Queen Soul run some more Kirby. That'll be really, really great. That'll be fantastic, everyone.
Corby. Okay, so we're going to get into Death Ball. We have to do 3 rounds of Death Ball. The rules of Death Ball are very simple. There are 2 teams of 2, so it is Miku and Jazz, our scarfed friend here. And what they have to do is take the ball and do 1 full lap around the stadium, and then they win. We're not going to do that. First off, Jazz is useless. Sorry, Jazz. We really appreciate you, but you are absolutely terrible as far as AI is concerned. And 2, we have a little bit of a faster method of doing this. So, if we go out of bounds and then kind of keep hitting checkpoints, you can see the checkpoints advancing as we move around the bottom bar there. That kind of shows our progress in the level, and make it past the halfway mark. What we can do then is go out of bounds into a death plane, which will respawn us with the ball at the start. And because we are more than halfway through it, it counts us as completing the entirety of that lap. So we are right next to the goal already, as you see up the bottom bar, where we picked up the ball the first time, and boom, race done.
The GGs win! The Doom Riders have been knocked out cold. Can't collect insurance in hell.
There we go. The Doom Riders are gone now. We don't ever see them again.
Nope, not in any percent. R.I.P. Doomies. That's Death Ball. We originally would go against, so I'll talk about the history of this for just a little bit. This started out with just doing a lap, because just doing it quickly. But it's really boring because your boost is replaced with throw the ball, so you can't even boost around the level. So it's just like extremely basic movement. Oh, such a banger.
I'm a bit confused here. I definitely felt like I changed the music here, but I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. But you know, this is not the song that's supposed to be playing. But it kind of fits Death Ball.
Yeah, it's actually really good. So then in, I want to say 2021, somebody, Baocrax, found kill strats. So the Immortals and the next gang that we'd be going against, the Love Shockers, have the lowest health values in the game. So what we would do is throw the ball out of bounds, and that would stall their AI out, where they don't know what to do when the ball goes out of bounds. They only have code for inbounds. And then you run into them until their health depletes. And that saved up to 15 seconds, but collisions in this game are deeply inconsistent because this isn't a fighting game. This is a skating game, and collisions kind of are an afterthought. So you could just kind of get ruined out of time save because the game chose. So then we found this out of bounds strat that solves basically all of the problems. It is 1 second faster than the fastest kill strats, and it's 100% consistent if you do the right setups. Getting out of bounds is not the most trivial thing in the world. You have to jump at a precise angle. Not too precise, but you know, you have to jump in the right way and then make sure you move properly, but that's not particularly difficult.
A message of love and death. It's that lovable team of psychos, the Love Shockers. Who's gonna bear the brunt of
So for the third time, Miku jumps up, gets out of bounds, and then these are actually wall ride billboards that you can wall ride on. You saw some of those in like Chuo Street and Rakakadai Heights. They're actually wall rideable from the back and the front, so that's why Miku is jumping up repetitively. Is because they give more speed. You would move about 42% 42% faster on a billboard. So we use that because 42% faster is faster. Shocking, I thought.
Wait, what?
What? That's crazy. Bigger speed goes zoom faster more?
Right. I need to remember to grab these blue cans. There's so many times where I just forget. There we go.
Oh.
Alright, we're good.
Way to go, Miku's brain.
We saved the run.
Those will go into the cop fight that shows up. The cops are upset with us for, I don't know, participating in the game they orchestrated. I'm not really sure what this is, but Hayashi is going to find the whole event very funny.
Wait, you're telling me Death Ball is illegal?
You brought us here.
My brother in Christ, you brought us. This is your game.
I have a feeling he might be saying the words, someone was kind enough to let me know you were here.
I think he's just laughing 100% of the time. So, we play in Japanese, and we've kind of glossed over it, because it saves time overall in cutscenes, but that's one of the only cutscenes in the game that is slower in Japanese because he laughs for so dang long. This is the new and improved Terror Drone, which has a donut laser on the bottom that shoots out concentric circles, but it's been blinksified again absolutely instantly because they added no durability to it, and it's on the ground this time.
Ha, cool. Those things ain't nothing but
What does Blinks mean? Is that a Pokemon?
Maybe.
The station that'll teach you the things your parents and teachers are too
So,
afraid to.
with that taken care of, we have completed Death Ball and all of Chapter 5. So, DJ Kale, kind of give us a lowdown of what's going on. Yeah, the noise tanks got messed up by the police, and they're going to riot in the streets because of it. So they're just going to be doing the robot dances all over the street with their little jetpacks, helping them float in the air. Small detail, but it's very cool. And we're going to have to deal with them. So, there are 412-ish noise tanks around 5 different levels. As you can see, they are plentiful all over the place. But as DJ Professor K just said, you just need to run into them. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to run into 200 of the 412 that are available. Obviously, we have routed this out very carefully to hit the fastest 200 of them. No small task, but this route has been relatively unchanged for tons and tons of years, so it's pretty darn cool. This is our 20th/40th Graffiti Soul, so that is the end of our Graffiti Soul pickups for the entirety of the run. We have just enough to complete the story event that will be happening at the beginning of the next chapter. So, we'll be taking tours to Dogenzaka Hill, Shibuya Terminal, Chuo Street, back to Shibuya, across the garage, over to Rikakudai Heights, back to the garage, and then finishing up in 99th Street here in just a minute. And that's because the next story event occurs off of the 99th Street branch, so we have to finish there. So that's why all the routing, kind of the constraints of the routing go into it. But otherwise, this is kind of a very free and open section to route in a lot of different ways. So it's pretty cool just to see a neat little route that just runs into them all the time.
And it's very movement heavy as well.
Yeah, I'd say that if there was one split that could define, like one section of the game that defines how like good a player's movement is, it would be this section. It's just getting from point A to point B to point 200 as fast as physically possible. This dialogue here says that we are at 100. I promise that's what it says. He actually says something about, are you good at street, are you taking them all out, I think is what that one is. And the second one at 150 is you should be awarded a medal for being a street cleaner or something like that. So we'll be seeing that one. So that's kind of our way of knowing our general checkpoints. Oh, big jump up to off that bus and up to the bus platform. Again, using the slope geometry of the bus to gain a little bit of extra height. There's a lot of just specific geometry that we use to our advantage throughout this run and plenty other of JSRF activities. So, yeah, section of the game is super cool in my opinion, and I really like the music that plays. Technopathetic, which was just playing, and we'll hear it again once we get into 99th Street, is probably my favorite track of the game, and it's really cool. Some noise tank oddities. As I said, there are 412, I think, noise tanks throughout all of the levels. There are a few that are just kind of out there, though. One of them is on the very top of the chimney at the very highest point of RDH here. He's extremely difficult to hit. Like, there's no actual way to hit him except by using like an inconsistent grind method. Like, there's nothing we know how to do to hit him. But because he's on top of a chimney, we call him the Santa Tank. And then there's also one staring into a corner in the dark side of 99 here, all by himself, that we just call Jeff. And Jeff is very lonely, but you know. So that's 10 to go, so Miku will count the remaining 10.
I'll get these.
Yeah, why not? So
I've
it's just
already
what?
lost count.
I think there are 2 or 3 to go. I think it's 3. So we're going to try and end in the optimal spot. 1, 2, 3, perfect.
I'm glad one of us can count.
That has been my job in this community for years.
Ace counts so we don't have to.
And that leads us as close to as possible to our next story beat. Miku's just going to casually clip right through this wall and then run down the wall and hit another death plane because we're in Skyscraper District, so that's what we do to navigate this gigantic level. And we go up here and talk to it's Poison Jam
God,
again.
Poison
There
Jam.
it goes. Bye, Poison Jam. And he basically says he got beat the heck up in Sky Dinosaurian Square, which we are going to, by Yo-Yo. And he says, "What is that guy?" This level's sick, by the way. So cool.
I'm sure the casuals will have the same opinion, you know?
Visually, it's awesome. You have a T-Rex. It's a theme park based on dinosaurs that is also just an entire roller coaster level. It's super cool, like from a design perspective. So now Yo-Yo jumps down's like, "Sup, we're gonna fight." However, Cube, leader of Poison Jam, comes in and does the big reveal. Yo-Yo was a noise tank all along. Oh my god. Plot twist. M. Night Shyamalan could never. And so now we're going to resolve problems as we do by doing a Tagger's Tag battle. This is a pretty advanced route here. Each noise tank takes 23 to knock out, so it is a precise route to make sure that we can pick up 23 in all cases. We're going to jump over to this green rail here and keep spraying, and that will give us enough cans for later so we can take out the third noise tank. We've already knocked out 2 of them. It's now just going to be 1-on-1. Just got enough, hop up right in time to pick up this final noise tank and then spray him down with perfect management, and we're going to pick up 10 cans right before finishing there. That was a great fight, Miku.
Ooh, man. It's always scary doing that jump to get the extra cans on the left.
Yeah, that is...
I thought you were gonna bump into it. I was gonna scream maybe.
Emotions?
I was going to scream maybe. The noise tanks will say, the noise tanks will, say, "Oh, we will get our revenge. Be warned," because they translated this game in a way that is almost incomprehensible at times. It's kind of great. And so that kind of wraps up the noise tank arc. We defeated them. And that's it. We found Yo-Yo. He was a noise tank all along, and it turns out the noise tanks had a little emblem inside them that is of the Rokaku police. Oh my god, they were working together? That's crazy. So, we've gone through the base police force and we've gone through the noise tanks. So now we have to go against the Golden Rhinos in the final third of this game. Again, assassins, the strongest enemies in the game. We'll be seeing those guys again right there in the front. Mr. Claw Arm and Flamethrower Girl, Flames Chick. Hayashi is malding. He's been fired.
Oh wait, no,
Oh my god, Doomy's showing up in a cutscene.
Completely forgot about the Doom Riders.
They show up in Dogenzaka Hill if you go back there. We're going back there, so we won't see them again. Bye forever for real.
And find Yo-Yo.
So yeah, maybe the Golden Rhinos will have some info on how we can get to Yo-Yo. This is Clutch. Clutch says, I've got info on Yo-Yo. Just offer me some payment. And so you pay him in your graffiti souls. So that's where we needed our 20 picked up graffiti souls. And then he just pieces out with telling us any information because he's kind of a jerk like that. So we're going to go chase him down.
$50 name card.
Oh, what a scam. Don't click the link. So he runs around the map. First to Kibogaoka Hill, then to the Skyscraper District, then to Chua Street in a loop. You have 90 seconds to get to Kibogaoka Hill and chase him down if you want to get him in the first cycle. That's absolutely no problem for us, but we do have one obstacle in the way. When we spawn in a Kibo, boom, Golden Rhinos appear. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? What we're going to do is reload the level by switching characters, and they disappear along with their electric fence that would have blocked us in. So we're easily able to pick up Clutch. Because, yeah, frame boost. And then they spawn back in because we go across the plane, which is just along the entrance, and then we leave them forever. And now we get to go into FRZ, the Fortified Residential Zone, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest areas in the entire game.
This building will go
When the gift sub runs out.
You continue to
This viewer will go kaboom. So they've left us this ominous message, telling us all about how we're going to perish here to time bombs. So Miku has to go around the level and spray all of the time bombs, which look like this, and that will prevent it. They give us 30 minutes to do it, and we'll need all one of those minutes to take it out. We also get the awesome title soundtrack, Concept of Love here, so if you are a fan of Understanding and Understanding, make sure it's known in the chat. So there are 4 bombs on the lower section and 4 bombs up individual rail sections. So we've sprayed now 3 of the lower bombs, and then we have to climb all the way up to spray the kind of bombs that are higher up. So here's one of them, and then we're going to use our height plus a little bit of jump to preserve as much of this height as possible so we can get to the next bomb quicker. Guess we sprayed all 4 actually. That's right. And then we use this jump to jump way across and land in this area, which has the final bomb. And so with just barely under the time limit of 28 minutes and 51 seconds remaining, we have completed the first section.
Sometimes we see 28 and that's fine.
Somehow we have stopped them. It's just no clue how we could have done it. So, Kapow goes the player. Miku's going to do a jump around the side. That is jump. And It's called that because a bunch of world records missed it for a long time, and now it's required. And now we have to spray red devices, so they've got the red backs to them. They're a little bit more, spread out around the entire map. It's not quite the formulaic one on bottom, one on top kind of area. This section is super cool to play, though. It's so much fun to just jump around the geometry that's made to be jumped around. The maps in Jet Set Radio Future are incredibly well designed, and I almost want to say could be studied for how good they create the player experience. We're going to do a big boost around and then go around that spiral staircase and orient ourselves to find where we're going and jump to that bomb, then boost across this one, spray, and got graffiti cameraed real good.
Dorfed.
So graffiti cam got us there, unfortunately. Sorry, Miku, but it's a quick-ish climb back to where we just were. But this level, more than I think any other of them, especially in the speedrun, just is so enjoyable to play due to the movement and the geometry of this level. The things that are remembered about this game are A, the incredible soundtrack, and B, just how genuinely good it feels to move around and how memorable all of these levels are. Doing the backup boost? Oh, doing the backup boost. Okay.
Almost fell down again. That would have been
embarrassing. Oh my goodness.
Not beating the FRZ allegations once again.
Sometimes we see a 27.
Ooh, wow, that's a collar pull right there.
I know, it was so close. We were spitting bricks. So yeah, that's been taken care of, and now we're going to go find Yo-Yo. Normally we'd have to work our way around the level, but we just jump this way, and look, it's Yo-Yo in a cage again. What could possibly...
It's real this time.
Is it? And so again, they will take the most measured and reasonable response and Harrier jets that are going to float down armed with missiles as they zoom in on them and shoot their missiles at us. Or, there we go, that's some of the missiles. They don't want to spend too much of that budget, so they only shot one missile, and we spray them down very quickly, and we rescue the real Yo-Yo. Woo!
Let's go. He's back.
He's so back.
Jet Set Radio! Whether you chilling in your couch or in your coffin, don't forget to tune us in to keep you company.
I want to shout out those DJ lines. They're actually just great. Like, as far as just for vibes, they're really kind of great. Of just whether you're chilling in your couch or in your coffin, like. A, shout out to the Immortals, and B, it's goofy, it's fun. This game kind of goes off the rails by Chapter 8, which we're entering now, where things just do not make sense. And
this time I've got nothing to say except
it's
time to get my running shoes
we're
on.
playing with physics a little bit. We're playing with creative liberties to just do what, the writers could do whatever. This guy is zero beat. Like, from a physical standpoint, nothing makes sense about how his design works.
He's running around spraying some crazy
But
graffiti.
he's here. Don't ask where he came from, what he is. It's fine.
If the Golden Rhinos were allowed to romp through the streets like this, Tokyo's done for. Somebody stop him.
I kind of wish they gave him the dance he did in the cutscene as his like actual dance.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, where he's like breakdancing on the ground. That was pretty cool.
Oh no. My game crashed.
No.
Nar.
That's
There's
okay,
no
it's at
way.
the start anyway. It did crash. Is it? Oh,
It happened the other day,
Like-
didn't it? Oh goodness.
it did. I'm not sure why, but here we can show off quick save actually.
Yeah. So real quick, Miku's been having some file issues. Miku-tacular. So what we're going to do is go into one of our mods. Hey, that's my name on screen. What we're going to do is go into the game, and we have a whole bunch of practice save file. Nope, not Chapter 7.
Oh, wrong one.
And
Whoopsies.
what we're going to do is quickly jump to where we were in the run, which is Chapter 8. And then we're going to go make a save. Or are we just going to play in quick save? I was just going to...
We'll just play in quick save. I'm just going to turn off all the HUD elements. But we'll just keep it in quick save.
Okay, cool.
I just won't use it.
That's unfortunate.
Yep, so, continuing right along with that, oh, you got the notifications as well. What we're going to do is go over to Chuo Street, and where we will meet Claw Guy from that, from the cutscene a little bit ago. So, from here, this is basically just a boss section of the game. We're going to fight 4 or 5 different bosses consecutively, and that'll basically be the entirety of the rest of the game. So, here's Claw Guy. I wonder why we call him that.
Oh my goodness.
Are his real arms under there?
Those are his real arms. As with a lot of bosses, what we're going to try and do is boost into him to knock him down. Then we're going to spray him a whole bunch while he's on the ground. Before he's able to get up and go again, we pick up the cans that he drops and then boost him again and spray him down before he's able to do anything. And that is 0 cycle claws because he never got to do anything. He is then subjected to the grisly fate of one of the Harriers coming in, hitting him with missiles, pulling him up into the air, and then delay detonating him in the middle of the air, and he is no more RIP Claw Guy. A grisly and gruesome fate that surely will be the worst thing that we see in this chapter. Zero Beat goes ahead and makes an appearance. I don't know, was he watching the whole thing? Did he just see like his coworker get missiled? Not really sure how that works, but nonetheless, he ominously runs away, implying that we should be following him. So we do exactly that. Highly trained assassin. Yeah, highly trained to getting wrecked. So, we need to make our way all the way over to Highway 0, and we're going to be doing 2 cop fights along the way. So, that's a little bit of downtime, so if our host has any announcements right before the beginning of the next game, right here at the end, now would be an excellent time for that.
I just want to say I have been loving this run. All of the trick names, everything has just been so fantastic. I honestly need to pick up this game. This has just been so great to watch. I just want to remind... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to remind everybody why we're here, and that is to raise money for Alice's gender-affirming surgery in February of 2025. Surgery costs can be very high when you factor in stuff like hospital stay, travel, life accommodations one needs while healing from a big procedure. So if you would like to help out, please type !donate in chat. Now, I do want to just give us a little bit of an update on that current costume bid war we have for Rakugaki. So we have Goku in the lead at $50 and Sailor Moon, sadly, at $19. Personally, I would like to see Sailor Moon, but that's just me. We'll see what chat decides.
Yeah, if you are interested in this game, jsrfspeedruns.com or speedrun.com/JSRF has links to the Discord and a bunch of tutorials. AceBats has a tutorial on YouTube, and all of us are more than willing to help new people out. If you are new here with the community, I know there's plenty of them. Yeah, shout out to all of you.
Golden rhinos have turned Highway 0 into a sea of flames.
This is our other boss fight. This is Flames Chick. She uses a flamethrower, but she doesn't need a boost to be knocked over. I don't exactly know why the devs did this, but you know, we'll see. She just gets run into and then gets taken out again in a very quick set of sprays, and she is done as well. She is subjected to the fate of her flames burning away a billboard and then that falling on her and smashing her, then incinerating her afterwards. So you decide what was worse, missiles or billboard.
My signal.
The Acme billboard is unfortunate.
Help me! Hey, don't touch that. Get your hands. Stop. That's my stuff.
DJ K is currently being attacked in his radio booth. And sure enough, there he is. He's being taken away in his big helicopter because apparently Zero Beat is behind this, and he shows up here, and we'll go talk to him, I suppose. 'Cause what else?
His
are we gonna
entire
do?
studio, man. Like
His whole studio, but thankfully he can still broadcast. How is he getting external power? I don't know. So Zero Beat has nothing to say and runs off to the other side. You may recognize this from where we went to Sky Dinosaurian Square. We're going to go the other way on the rails and follow Zero Beat to the only inaccessible location after this chapter. I'd rather be blown up than given the Giles Corey treatment. Oh my goodness.
Hey, listen up. The Golden Rhinos are here. They in here. Listen up, fools. I'm gonna keep broadcasting as long as I can. The Golden Rhinos brought in some sort of strange
there we go.
machine. What is that thing? Shut that damn thing
This
off.
is, by the stretch of an imagination, a train. It goes on rails, but it is something wild looking, and we have to do something about it because it is menacingly existing on these rails. I'm not really sure. This is a very technical piece of movement, though. Miku's going to have to spray each of these 4 back sections, one on the left, one on the right of each of them, in a very, very quick way, while also preserving as many cans as possible and dodging the electrical rails that are being put down by the train itself. If done correctly, oh goodness, again, super precise. What will happen is it gets sprayed down. It went too fast. It will go ahead and be taken out. Its speed is based on your speed, so it won't go too fast if you fall behind it, and it will be just barely fast enough until it attacks. So all of that is used in the routing to try and take it out as quickly as possible, while also taking advantage of the opportunities it gives us. It's a very, very difficult fight, one of the hardest ones in the game. Oh, remember not to hit any buttons because you're on quick save.
yeah.
So this is a cutscene that in English takes like 6 minutes. This and the next one combined take like 6 minutes. It takes a lot less in Japanese, and that's why we save tons and tons of time. Lore-wise, the Goji has this tower, which, as I learned, is based off like, I want to say like a shrine to a sun temple or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there is a real analog that is based off of. So what it does is sucks up the people of Tokyo and does menacing things. It's very menacing and terrible. It's called Tower of the Sun. I found the reference to it. If you find the Wikipedia link for Tower of the Sun, that is what it's based off of. So we have to confront our main antagonist running the whole operation, Rokaku Goji, in the top of his tower. But first, before we do any of that, we have to defeat Zero Beat, which we will be seeing very shortly, being literally spawned into existence. But yeah, this takes an actual eternity in English, and it still takes a long time in Japanese. Quick facts about them. This is in English. This character is voiced by Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario. So if you see him at a convention or something like that, say, I know you from your famous role as Goji in JSRF, and he enjoys those. He really does. and only the cops and antagonists have Japanese dubbing. I don't know why, but that's how it is. They couldn't find a Billy Brown, DJ Professor K, in Japanese that had the same vibes, apparently, or any of the other characters. So we'll solve this problem via a tagger's tag with beats here. We have a ton of different ways of doing this because we're back in the terminal. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of cans. So we'll see one of the different ways to take them out. We need to get behind the 0 beats, though, along this path, jump with them so they don't overrun us, and then spray this first guy down. Once we knock him down, we go over to Charity Rail here, which has 25 cans, which is more than enough than the 20 to 21 needed to take out a 0 beat. Line up with the second one and take him out as well in great time. So they huff and puff real tired, and then they
Huff and puff.
disappear. And that's it. So, DJ K is going to say the thing.
Welcome to the new Jet Set Radio. Hold up. Wait a minute. I think I'm gonna call it. Yeah, Jet Set Radio Future.
He said the thing. He said the title of the game.
God.
Oh!
This is an auto, like, we have to wait for the dialogue to finish before. So we're trying to clip into this wall. Unfortunately unsuccessful.
What's the point?
But we did fill up on cans ahead of time for the final boss fight, where Goji sucks us up into his tower. Disclaimer, if you get motion sickness from this background, leave for 2 minutes. We will be right. This will go away in about 2 minutes, but this background is genuinely, no jokes, nothing, can be a little bit motion sickness inducing for some people. As speedrunners, we've seen it a billion times and it no longer affects us. So, he monologues from atop his tower in Trippy Land, does his magical girl transformation sequence, and transforms into Akamu, the final boss. And we have to go defeat him at the top of the tower. So, that's what we're going to do. First, we're going to knock over these space ninjas and get the cans on the floor for them. That's going to be important for later. And then we're going to do a series of climbing up to the top. I think this climbing section is super neat because you just climb all the way. It uses a lot of techniques from the different levels and helps you just kind of look what you've learned. Now you've mastered this. We boost into him once. The Goji is unique as an enemy because it requires 2 boosts before he can be sprayed. Deeply unique mechanics there. So while he's stunned on the ground for about 6 seconds, he can't be boosted into again. So we're going to go ahead and refill on cans because we're going to need all of these to complete the level. So once we make it up to the top, we knock him down again, the spray indicator appears, and we go to the front of him. And once that screen turns black after his health bar depletes, that is time now. Woo!
Yeah, there we go.
Way to go,
That was a good
Miku.
run. It was a shame that I crashed.
Yeah, what's your real time was 1:36:44, which means if I go pull up your
Minus
TV,
it by 50 seconds.
Yeah, but you also goofed around in quick save for a minute trying to reload it, so take another minute off that. So probably a 1:30. I'm gonna say a 1:33.
Oh, okay.
Which is
I'll take it.
that's a good time. That's a really good time. I'll say like upper 1:33. Yeah. Using that in-game timer is what we're comparing against because that's how we know times. Maybe a low 1:34. Yamsa being a hater. Can't believe it.
As the tower was once again.
But yeah, that's my showcase of Jet Set Radio Future. You know, once again, I'll say this game's fantastic. The movement in this game's fun. The visuals in this game's very nice to look at with this nice cell shading and just fantastic sort of just like art detail that they have. You know, music as well. Music's fantastic. Honestly, 10 out of 10. I honestly recommend everyone play this game if you haven't. It is very fun, and especially if you do enjoy this game, check out the speedrunning resources for Jet Set Radio Future. You can find that at speedrun.com/JetSetRadioFuture. You can go to the Discord, the speedrunning Discord for Jet Set Radio Future as well. There's tons of guides on YouTube. Seventh Ace actually made a guide years ago. There's a more updated guide that AceBat's made as well, which is a little bit more short form. It separates everything into sort of episodic episodes that like go through every single level. So if you're interested in that, go check them out. Shout out to this charity. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to the commentators here. Shout out to the viewers. And that's all I have to say. What about you guys, you commentators? You got anything to say?
Feel me?
Hit the nail on the head.
I will say this is the best skating graffiti game that you will see today. Anyway, what's next on our schedule?
Well, on our schedule next, we have Bomb Rush Cyberpunk,
Oh my
and I
goodness.
feel like you're stirring up chat with that
The
comment.
irony is insane.
I feel like we might be starting a debate in chat. But before I let you all go, can you let the Twitch chat know where to find you if they really enjoyed the run?
All right. Well, I stream at twitch.tv/Miku_DS. That's where I usually play Jet Set Radio Future, or I play Blinks the Time Sweeper as well. That's my other game that I play. I make videos on YouTube as well, mainly about Blinks on, youtube.com/Miku_DS. Those videos are more on, I make a lot of videos on Blinks on how it works. Not so much Jet Set Radio Future, might be thinking about it. And, I have a Twitter in case anyone wants to follow me, on X. It is, at Miku_DDS, so it's an extra D. And, that's all the way you can find me.
You can find me at twitch.tv/7thace or youtube.com/7thace, I believe. I do a lot of StarCraft stuff and don't post much JSRF anymore, but I still play and love this game because it's great.
You can find me on Twitch as well at Ryomi. I play a lot of games, but mostly Jet Set Radio Future.
Grammy's on that world record grind.
Yeah.
That's right. Also, shout out Jet Set Radio Future Bingo.
Oh, of course. Jet Set Radio Future
yeah.
Bingo is our biggest production. Twitch.tv/JSRF Bingo. We do seasons once or twice a year. It's an incredibly fun game mode that is way overproduced. We have sunk in thousands of hours to it at this point, and it is awesome. I would highly recommend checking that out, if nothing else.
Honestly, the best part of the game is Bingo.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much for that run. That was just absolutely amazing, everyone. Okay, we are going to be back in a couple of moments with Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, but I do want to put a call out. Chat, why don't you get your donos in? Why don't you let us know what the better skating graffiti game is out of the two that we are about to debate? So let's get on that. I'd love to hear from y'all.
Oh boy.